All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'm your host, Stephen G. Gaxiola, and you are listening to the Raider and the Saint podcast.
Even like this is my 244th episode. I still get the jitters. I still get it. I get excited. We'll go over that. There we go. Fix that.
Anybody here isn't up to it? I'm gonna give you one last chance to walk out that door right now.
That's a good one, Todd.
Good! That's what I wanted to hear. Because in this silver slice of heaven here are 1,984 ounces of beer. Golden, delicious beer. And no one leaves here until we finish every single last drop.
And we are live. Once again, I want to thank all my listeners from around the world that tune in every week to the Raider and the Saint podcast. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me. Today's date is July 13th. The year is 2025. We are back from a holiday weekend. Last week was July 4th weekend. And I did have a schedule plan, but believe it or not, what happened was a lot of things went on. It was let's see, 4th of July was on a Friday. Well, we were supposed to go to a coworker's house, and I was supposed to I was cooking a pork shoulder. I was going to bring a pork shoulder. I was going to bring the fireworks. And so I put the pork shoulder in like around 10 o'clock at night. And it takes about 8-10 hours to cook. So I went to sleep. And when I woke up at 5 in the morning to check on it, the pallets had gave out. There was no more pallets in it, which is weird because I filled the whole thing to the brim. So it should have been good, but it was empty. So it had shut off. So I tried to hurry up and try to speed it up, but it wasn't ready in time. So I told my coworker, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. My pork shoulder isn't done. And it's like, I can't leave it there. If I go to the party and not bring anything, it's like, I can't just leave my pork shoulder there and the thing. So I continued to cook it. And so I talked with my wife and we said, here, we didn't want to stay here. We had plans to go out and hang out with my coworker and his family. They had a nice pool and everything, but it just didn't work out. So we ended up staying here. And then my sister-in-law, she came with her husband. I guess they were planning to go to his boss's house. He had canceled. And then my buddy Jared and his daughter showed up. You know, they had nothing planned. But it was a weird 4th of July party. A lot of people, 4th of July, a lot of people were canceling parties. I mean, there was a lot of weird stuff going on. But I ended up getting a hotel that night and Saturday night. And so we took the family and we went swimming. We hung out, just got, had to get away for a bit. But every 4th of July, my Mustang that I drive, 2006 Ford GT convertible, it was, I usually park right here in the driveway and I have a cover over it. But every 4th of July, it gets crazy over here. Fireworks are up in the sky. It's blowing up. I mean, it's crazy over here. And it's just a whole mess the next day. And so every year I take my Mustang to the airport, Fulton Airport over here where I live. I leave it there overnight. And so I had came back Sunday to pick it up. I left it there, or was it Saturday? I don't know. Sunday. No, it was Sunday because Saturday we went somewhere. So Sunday I went to pick it up and the back window was smashed in, just demolished. So I had to cancel last second. I was just in a bad mood. Had to file a police report. And so now the Mustang's getting fixed. But thank God for insurance, because that shit gets expensive. But anyways, that was my holiday weekend. This week, I just been hanging out because everybody knows I'm not working right now. I'm out for sickness, illness, but I'll be back to work in a couple weeks. But this week, just what I did was, I know I'm speeding up, but my guest today is short on time, so I'm talking fast. My son, his senior year, he had a lot of tournaments. Tuesday, he had a tournament out there in San Clemente. And did very well. And then he had one on Thursday, and then he had one yesterday, his last 7-on-7 tournament. Next time, now they're on 10-day dark period, and then after that, it will be his final football season, and he will be putting on the pads, and it's gonna be go time. So I'm really excited for that. It is my son's last year playing football. I don't think he will be playing college ball, so I don't think he has the size. I mean, he's taller than me. I mean, I'm shrinking as I get older. I used to be about 5'8". I'm probably, who knows now, probably 5'5" now the way I look, dude. Compared to my guest I came in today, I go, holy shit, dude. Yeah, so, but he's looking good. I'm excited for football. Season's back. I even tried to get back into this old league I was in, but they had just literally just filled the spot that they had one empty. I was like a day short because I was involved in a lot of fantasy football, and I had to quit. I mean, you dedicated every day looking, researching for potential sleepers for people that don't fantasy football, people that could potentially score points for you, for your team. So I had to give it up because I wasn't committed. I was committed to this show. But now that I got a good rhythm and how to communicate and get people on the show and scheduling and all that, I know that I can go back and continue something I love, which is football season. But anyways, yeah, that was my holiday weekend. I do got to get that guest on the show. I think that's my second time I had to cancel. But he's going to come on, coworker of ours, so it'll be a good show. But other than that, everything's going good over here at the Random Saint Podcast. We are live on YouTube. We got a lot of good things planned. But right now, I'm just focusing on getting better, focusing on my health and getting right. But as you can see, if you're watching live on YouTube, my guest today is a new guest. I'm honored to have her here. Her name is Rachel Madison. She's a critical care nurse and a union organizer. She's out there working out of a trauma center in downtown LA. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of this project. I love the idea of bringing forward working voices.
Mm-hmm.
How'd your pork shoulder turn out, by the way?
It came out good. It comes out good. You know what? I love barbecue. And so 4th of July, I had a few beers and I ate it and it was really good. And then the next day I made another pork shoulder sandwich and I make two because I'm so hungry. I fast throughout the day and then I go, okay, let me make a small meal. So I'll make the little Hawaiian rolls with the pork shoulder. And I made two and I can only eat one. I think it's because we're getting older now, but I can only eat one. But I know it's not me because my son, he makes a lot too. And he's eating a lot right now. And he can only eat one. And I'm like, it's just real filling. But to me, I'm more critical of my own cooking. But I think it came out a little bit too salty. Maybe I put too much of I'm trying to mess with it. But the as it was cooked, it came out really good. So I want to try to not put too much seasoning because that's such a big piece of meat, like 17 pounds, and so you're just I'm patting in. I want to get a good crust. But for me personally, I think it came out a little bit too salty. But then that's just me. But everybody loved it. Everyone took some home. I know we got to cook a meal for the kids, the high school players, the kids. Now they're gonna do, because it used to be just varsity players, so people on the varsity team would have their team meal, but now they're gonna have the whole team, freshmen, JV, and varsity. They're gonna have a big team meal on Wednesdays, and so 10 families every week got to get together and make food. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll cook 2 pork shoulders. That's simple. It's easy. I could just throw it in there, boom, for 8 hours. Well, what I do is I'll put it in. Have you ever cooked a pork shoulder?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you how I do mine first. You can tell me to cook yours. So I'll get mine. I'll use, I try different flavors, different seasoning, but the basic one I use this one I used, it had garlic, black pepper, salt, crushed peppers, and a couple other stuff in it. And so it I packed it. It came out good. And then I've used like a Southwest, style one. But I'll season it. I'll put it in, put the thermometer in, and I'll hit it to about at 250. I'll go at 250 till it gets about 165, and then I'll wrap it, and then I'll set it in there 199, 198. I won't go beyond 205. So I'll do about 198, 199, and then I'll put it in the ice chest, you know, with the towel. I'll leave it open for about 30 minutes, and then I'll shut it, and I'll leave it overnight or, you know, throughout the day. And then when it's ready, I'll pull it out. And you know how you know when it's cooked, when the bone can slide out? I'll slide it out, and I'll shred it, and I'll pull all the fat out. All the fat. Well, that's this time I didn't do. I didn't trim the fat this time. I said I want the fat to render, and so it came out good. How do you cook yours?
The only thing I do differently is I marinate it for a day beforehand in sour orange juice.
Oh,
So that's like the Cuban style. So you can either mix some lemon and some lime.
I want to
and
try
orange.
that.
It's really good.
I know a buddy of mine. He does his ribs like that. He'll marinate it in orange juice, and I know my uncle came one time. My wife's uncle. He came and he cooked carnitas in front of us, and he had those big old wok pan or whatever. And he had the big old burners, and so he put Coke, orange juice, maybe a little bit of beer, and like he cooked carnitas right there. But I could see the orange juice. So, what do you like? What kind of tub do you put it in? Just get a basic tub.
Yeah, just a basic like baking pan.
So orange. So you do orange juice and what else?
So actually, I have an orange tree
Okay,
outside of my
we got
house, so
one
I
too.
can use the sour orange tree, or you can mix lemon, lime, and orange juice.
Oh,
1 part of each.
how much you put? Like how many cups? Until it's covered, completely covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just for a proper marinade, and then chop up some
Wow.
fresh garlic, some olive oil, some onions, some oregano,
And how do you cook it then?
and then a slow cook, just like
So
you.
they smoke it.
hmm
Do you use do you use a pellet, wood?
Usually, because I don't have a grill, I'll just cook in my oven.
Oh, your oven too? Yeah, you can
Mhm.
do oven too. I'm gonna try that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's making me hungry. I haven't ate all day too. Okay, yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, because mine's been. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I think it's been coming out too salty. But I'm gonna try the orange juice. That's my next one. The orange juice. And then so you don't put no seasoning. You just marinate it.
No,
and
you do a dry rub
Dry rub?
seasoning too. Mm-hmm.
What kind of dry rub?
Just
Just
salt and
salt, pepper,
pepper,
yeah.
fresh garlic.
That's the basic. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. Anything else you smoke?
What are you asking me, Gax?
Like, do you smoke like ribs? Like, I tried a brisket one time, and I don't know. For me, when I first started smoking, I mean, you can see all the grills I got back here if you walked in, and I got one right there. I've tried ribs. I don't know. I'm so impatient because to me, it's like I love to smoke meats. You know, I like to barbecue, but me, like, I'll start having beers and playing music, and I'm, you know, it's a whole day process, and you put it in, and then I just keep drinking. Like, I start getting impatient. So the first time I cooked up beef brisket, I think I drank for like 12 hours. I'm like, it's got to be done already. And my problem was I didn't let it settle and rest. And so I started cutting, and it was all rough and tough to cut. And I was just like, oh man. And then the last time I cooked a brisket, it came out a little better. But I've learned to, like, hey, dude, like, you know, it doesn't need to be a celebration when you're doing this. You know, just wait till it's done to do. I get real impatient. That's my problem with smoking, is I get real impatient. But what else do you like to cook?
So I have a few, dishes up my sleeve, but there's a big myth in healthcare that nurses only work 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, I don't know one nurse that only works 3 days a week.
Mhm.
We usually have to pick up, at least one extra shift. We work long shifts, 12 hours. I don't have a lot of time outside of that to do all my cooking.
So how long have you been a nurse for?
I've been a nurse for 3 years now.
Okay.
I'm a critical care nurse. So like you said, I work in downtown LA. We the major traumas that happen like in Skid Row and throughout the downtown community. It's a really exciting job. I love
Yeah.
it.
Is it like, did you work on 4th of July?
I did work on 4th
Did
of
anybody
July.
come in with their hands
Oh
off?
yeah.
You did?
Yeah, we've
I
always
seen
got
a
at
lot
least
of
one of
those
those.
I've seen a lot of videos of that on Instagram. And I actually, one of my friends, he, I light fireworks, right? Not the ones that are they're legal. They're just not legal in California. And so one of my friends got a hold of one, and he almost blew his hand off. I mean, he got burns, blisters all over. He said he felt like he broke 2 of his fingers. It was a whole ordeal about it, and I saw the video, and You know, I don't want to talk too much of it. He's a good friend of mine, you know, but it's just like one thing about it is they're dangerous. You got to respect the fireworks. You have to, you got to give them their respect. You know, just a little box, a little thing like doesn't look like it's going to do anything to you will blow your hand off. You know, like they'll put the mortars inside the canisters and then hold it in their hand. Like you got to understand the force of that. You know, it's got nowhere to go. Just the force of that just exploding in your hand will vibrate your hand to blow off. You don't need to have the fire to get your hand. Just the force of that boom will blow your hand. And oh man, do you get to see it firsthand, like the gore up in front?
So I'm in the ICU.
Okay.
So I don't see the emergencies as
Yeah.
they come in the way that
Ooh.
emergency room nurses do. But we get to see the aftermath, and hopefully, if it's a good case, we get to see the people heal and get better and leave the hospital.
I mean, it's crazy to see. Like, I want to give a shout out to those doctors that work in those ERs and have to deal with that. Like, if I walked in and the dude, let me see your hand, and it's just all blown out, dude, I'd just pass out. I would just be like, what would you do? You know what I mean? It's like, what would you start with? How would you even start to stitch this thing up? What would you do? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So you got a few of those. Yeah, you got to respect the fireworks. And now it's getting to the point where I won't even be able to light them anymore. I'll have to just go to the desert. Like my friend of mine, he goes to the desert every year in Moapa. It's like 45 minutes past Vegas, and it's an Indian reservation. And it's a big, big field. And every year they call it the after party. And it's all the major league firework dealers, you know, because I don't know if you listened to the last show I just did. I had my buddy pop in and we talked about fireworks. And one thing that there is you got those ones that are illegal, right? That shoot up in the sky. Well, there's an underground. They're called overloads. And these ones are people that have money. They want to make their own firework, their own brand, right? Like say you want to make your own clothing brand. Same thing with guys that are firework enthusiasts. They'll go out and make their own brand. And they'll go to China and they'll get a hold of, you know, a Chinese company and they make their own brand. You know, you got a lot of guys out there like let me see, what's the big one right now? I can't even think one of the names. I think there's Major League Pyro's one. But there's different underground guys that have their own out there that like even if you went out of state to go to the fireworks shops, you won't see their products in there. But these ones are called overloads. They hit a lot heavier. And so anyways, he came on the show and he was talking about it, that there's an after hour. So, but going back to not being able to light fireworks there anymore, now they got drones now. Like, I don't know if here in Riverside, they have drones and they don't even need to tell you to stop shooting the fireworks, the cops. The drone flies over, catches you, and then they mail you the $1,500 ticket.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, we had the cops show up. I had one big firework left. It was about as big as this table. And I was pulling it out on the hand cart and the cop was out there. And I was like, I think this might be the last year before they start implementing those drones over here. But in Riverside, they're doing it, so it's a whole mess. I mean, you got to be safe. You know, you don't want to blow up a hand. But anyways, yeah. So you're working as a nurse, huh? 3 years. How long did it take you to become a nurse?
So the nursing degree is a 4-year degree. Yeah, it's a BSN
Okay.
degree.
Okay. So you like working there, and you've been there for three years, but you're also involved in your work in the union, right? What's your union called?
So we're with California Nurses Association. We represent about 14,000 nurses in the Dignity and Common Spirit health chain. And we just recently closed a contract. So we won some wage increases for nurses. And it's always a great experience being able to bring these issues forward with other nurses, having the opportunity to sit down with management as an equal player and negotiate and talk about some of the important issues that affect our patients is an empowering experience.
Yeah. What made you get involved? Because, you know, people that like I'm a Teamster. What made you get involved with the union when you became a nurse?
So I actually have a history of labor organizing. I come from a blue-collar state. I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay.
I grew up not having really access to healthcare, you know, never seeing the same doctor twice. A lot of things that would come up in our family, you know, my brother hitting his head having a laceration. I would help my mom, who was also a nurse, to patch it up rather than going to the hospital. For working class families, going to the hospital means a cost that we don't even know what it is, and we assume that we can't afford. Especially when you're living paycheck to paycheck, these like unexpected medical costs are just unimaginable. So a lot of times we try to take care of things at home. And actually, on my way over, I was listening to a documentary series. It's called Modern Medical Mafia, that was also made by a fellow Wisconsinite. Her name is Mary Strauss. And she's bringing some of these stories forward that are really just really traumatic. In fact, she talked about one 22-year-old boy with asthma who had had asthma since birth. He'd been managing it with prescription medications, and suddenly they just jacked up the price of his medication so that he could no longer afford it. So, of course, a few days later, he had an asthma attack and ended up dying, a 22-year-old boy. And while he was having this attack, instead of calling a medical professional, he actually called his dad saying, "Dad, what health care can I use to cover my expenses in the emergency room?" And he said, of course, the dad said, "Just go to the emergency room. We'll worry about that later." But the fact that that should impede care in an emergency situation is just such a shame. And I can relate to that because I know what it's like coming from a family that has to worry about that growing up.
Yeah, medical insurance, it's so important. And I've talked about this plenty of times on the show. It's so important to have it. I mean, I were talking before the show, I was talking about May 2nd, or was it? Yeah, early May, my heart went AFib. We were talking about, how our bodies and what it needs, what it doesn't need. And I got the bill. It was like $22,000 just for overnight. I was like,
Wow.
geez Louise, imagine if I didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
It's so important. And I think that's why I know a lot of guys that are still, that are older, some guys are in their 70s and can't work or continue to work just because of the benefits, because like their spouses or their children are very ill, and then their medical expenses are very high. They can't afford medical expenses.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. What brought you out to LA?
So I came out here for work, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been out here for now?
I've been out here for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, it's a much better state to work as a nurse because of the unions here.
Yeah.
We've been able to achieve patient-to-nurse ratios, which means that patients are getting better care. For example, in the ICU, we're either 1-on-1 or 1-to-2. That means we're able to focus on taking care of just those two patients in critical conditions, offer them better care and more safety. In other states, I'm looking at jobs, considering moving back to the Midwest. And when I look at jobs, they say, "Oh, you might have 3 or 4 patients in the ICU." I'm like, that's just unimaginable. I mean, I can't really take that burden on my license. And also,
So
how can I deliver safe care
So you would have to take care of 4 people instead of 2.
because there's no other state that actually has a state law that mandates patient-to-nurse ratios.
Except California.
Just California.
Wow.
And that was brought forth by the California Nurses Association
Good for you.
and other healthcare unions.
Wow. Yeah, I would have to say I hate being in the hospital, especially when you got a young, good-looking nurse, and she's wheeling you in and you're just sitting there laying on the bed, I'm like I'm all pissed off. Like, dude, I'm 44 years old, dude. Like, they're wheeling you in, and you're trying to have a conversation with them, but you're like, your brain's going, fuck, what happened? Am I not going to be able to work? Oh man, but the care they do is I had, the nurses are really good in the shift change and everything. I just didn't like it. Every hour they would come in and every hour they come in and check your vitals? Yeah, it's like
in
every
the
hour.
ICU, it's
Yeah,
every hour.
yeah, you don't sleep. I left the TV on and they would come in you fall asleep and you're like, you gotta check your vitals. But no, everything was good. Everything's good. But yeah, you nurses, you guys deserve everything. You guys work hard. So how many shifts are you taking right now?
So I do 4 shifts a week.
4 12s?
4 12s a week. Yeah, and I work night shift, so there's not a whole lot of time for extra outside of that.
How do you manage that? Like, like how many hours are you sleeping during the day then? Do you come home and go straight to sleep, or do you, like what's your routine?
Yeah, I usually do. I try to come home and just, unwind, take a shower, then go straight to sleep. And then I'll
Mhm.
sleep for like 6 hours. Actually,
Mhm.
I do okay sleeping during the day.
Mhm.
I'm pretty well adapted to it by now.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's okay because working nights, you get used to a quieter
Mhm.
pace of life. There's
So
a lot of time for reading and research and do projects.
I would think it'd be busy down there in downtown LA with all the,
Mm.
the skid row, the overdoses, and the fentanyl getting thrown around and all that. You would think you'd be busy all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I'm at work, I'm definitely busy. And
Mhm.
that's just it. We have a lot of patients that are OD patients. We have a lot of exacerbation of chronic illnesses. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
people just don't have access to the medicines that they need the same way that they used to. So we have a lot of people coming in who are extremely sick. They're in the ICU for a week getting electrolyte replacements on an insulin drip because they didn't have access to insulin at home or they couldn't afford their insulin or their health care changed and so they didn't know which hoops they needed to jump through to get their new insulin prescription. So it's really unfortunate to see people that come in with very treatable conditions and preventable conditions in this state.
Is there a need for nurses?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is, huh?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they say there's a nursing shortage across the country right now.
Mhm.
The truth is, there's just a shortage of nurses that are willing to work under the types of conditions that we're expected to work under, especially in other states that don't
Mhm.
have union protections. Where they're asked to put their license at risk, where they're asked to put themselves, their bodies at risk because they don't have access to PPE or because there's cases of nurse violence that aren't being taken seriously from patients. And, abusive conditions can happen within the work environment for a number of reasons. More recently, ICE has been in our facilities creating hostile working conditions for healthcare workers and also intimidating patients from receiving care.
What? What? I mean, I did see that online. I was seeing them at the hospital. Did you see the one? I think I sent it to you. They had the video, and you seen the kids. You could see the kids, and you could see that they're chained up.
Mm-hmm.
Why they? I mean, we'll go there, but let's talk about ICE raiding the hospitals.
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? Do you have an assumption, or what's going on?
Yeah, it's awful. It's an incredible violation of our oath that we've taken as healthcare workers to protect our patients. They're coming and they're trying to extract personal information about our patients from us as healthcare workers. They're intimidating us and making us feel like criminals for not giving them this information when in fact it is protected by federal law, by HIPAA law.
Hippo, yeah.
But in some cases, they've even been sitting behind the information desks. So they're the first face that patients see when they come into the hospital. So this is a way of intimidating patients from receiving critical medical care. And it's just egregious.
So what if somebody's in the hospital? So are they going after everybody? Are they? I mean, it seems to me like there's just if you're brown, you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're Chinese, there's no need. Like this, it just looks like they're just profiling any race. Hey, you don't look like you belong here. Come here.
Yeah.
Are they just doing that?
Well, that's the effect that it has, right?
Yeah.
Because we have people, a big part of our patient population are Latinos who are now afraid to come to the hospital because they know that ICE is there and then it's now a place where they can be targeted because of the color of the skin or the language that they speak. And people are being broadly targeted by ICE. So they're not coming to visit their sick patient members. They're not coming to get their conditions treated. We have patients in the ICU that are dying with nobody at the bedside because their family members are afraid to come into the hospital because ICE could be there.
Yeah. That's crazy. Because it just seems like you're just going after everybody, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're doing it at the hospitals.
Yeah, a recent case that we had in our healthcare system, Common Spirit Dignity in Glendale, they arrested somebody, and that person had a medical emergency throughout the course of the arrest, which I imagine was aggressive, unexpected, and dramatic for a number of reasons. So this person came into the hospital. She had been covered in vomit for at least 8 hours and needed emergency treatment, was admitted, and ICE waited inside of the hospital for 6 days for this individual to complete their treatment so that they could then rearrest her.
And I know that Trump said that he was going to go after the criminals, he was going to go after the drug cartels, but that's not true. It seems like he's going after everybody.
Yeah, I haven't heard about one case where a person who was arrested and interrogated and detained by ICE was actually a criminal. We even have cases where people who are, U.S. citizens are being detained and they're being sent away, or they're being kidnapped and their families don't know where they are or how to get a hold of them. And no, they're not criminals. This is just an example of them criminalizing people in order to continue their militarization of our healthcare system and of our state in general. I mean, have you noticed any of the ICE vehicles, any of the tanks, any of the military personnel that they've now sent to LA?
I know they said they're sending military or the National Guard there. I haven't been downtown LA in a long time. Yeah, I haven't been down there. But I can only imagine. I seen one video there at, I forgot what park, MacArthur Park, and they're all just walking. Like, I get it, dude. I want the streets clean. I want no more drugs on the street. I don't want no more homelessness on the street. And you see them walking, but they're shooting at everybody. They just shooting at people walking their dogs. It's just ugly and it's horrible. What we're doing. The president that people voted in is a complete moron. The guy's fucking stupid, dude. I mean, he's just, I don't know how people could still support the guy, what he's doing. I mean, if you listen to him talk now, I mean, he's just, oh my God. I don't want to, he just pisses me off. Like, there's got to be some type of humility towards their people. And to see what's going on in the world today, I'm disgusted. You're breaking families up. You take the mother. I think I seen one video. They're taking the mother, and their 2 kids are right there. You're separating them, and you're traumatizing these kids for life. And oh man, it's just I can't believe it. I can't believe what world we're living in today. It's just And then we got the new law, the new bill he passed. Can you talk to me a little about Medicaid and Medicare? Is there an effect going on with that, or are they cutting that?
Yeah, so the bill that he passed, the one big beautiful bill, it cost $930 billion cuts from Medicaid. So they're expecting about 16 million people to lose access to health care as a result of that bill. And imposes increased copays and premiums for other people. So it's a lot of money for not only people who are being cut off of Medicaid and no longer have access to healthcare, but for people who do have healthcare and are looking to their premiums likely going up.
Yeah, we're getting killed. It's a slow kill. We're just, like I said, we're just a battery. We're just a battery to the elites. We're a battery towards these people that rule the world. We pay taxes up the ass, state and federal tax. We pay that up the ass. And at the end, when you want to retire, you still got to fucking pay for your Medicare. You got to pay for your medical. There's got to be a better way. But no, they just want to put more money in their pocket and screw us. I mean, the middle class, I don't even know if the middle class exists anymore in California. You're either wealthy or you're fucking poor. But if you're poor, good luck trying to get aid because they're cutting all that.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Absolutely. And it's also an attack on our healthcare system and the part of it that actually serves people and actually sees healthcare as a right and offers healthcare to people. And we need to start to think about how we want to view healthcare as a nation. Like, are we going to continue to let it be a commodity that people have to buy, or do we think this is a right? I mean, in the wealthiest country in the world, don't people have the right and don't we have the ability to provide for them to have healthcare, basic healthcare?
Mm-hmm. Was it Canada? Don't they have free healthcare in Canada?
There are some systems that have, of course, a much better system than we do. A single payer healthcare system or universal healthcare system is the ideal. I mean, we pay so much in taxes, especially here in California. How about we stop sending money to Israel and governments that are committing genocide across the country, across the world? And how about we use that money to fund healthcare?
Well, it's the industrial military complex. Or was it military industrial complex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wars bring money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bombs, all that. Oh, it's money. It's a big money thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about money. Wars create money.
Yeah.
It's a shame. You know, oh no, they're dirty, evil people. And I'm just quoting from other people I talk to, and it's just like at the end of the day, you're killing innocent people. You're wiping out a whole race.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm against it. You know, at some point, yes, I know there's terrorist groups. Okay, we gotta take care. We got technology where we can handle it. You know, you're trying to tell me we don't have? They got the government, and they got so much technology. Like they can take care of it. But no, they want to wipe. I mean, I could talk about this all day. It's just when I see videos of kids crying or kids dead and they're crying, like it just breaks my heart.
Yeah, and I think the vast majority of Americans in poll after poll have shown that they're against it, in addition to the entire international community, which has condemned Netanyahu and Israel for the war crimes that they're committing against the people of Gaza. What I really like about organizing in the workplace is that we're starting to learn something about our agency to create change and to uphold standards. And I think that's something that we've really lost. We do have the ability when we act together and when we utilize our collective power to make changes in the workplace. We see that every time we close a contract. We see that when we go on strike and we force management to come back to the table and offer a better contract. And when we learn together that we're able to do that, I think we can get back to a place where we have a collective responsibility to take action for where tax dollars are going by being out in the streets and standing up against what is happening in Gaza and across the world. We ended the war in Vietnam. We can end the genocide in Gaza too.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so, because it's sad. You know, I look at what I'm going through. Like we were talking, like we have battles. You know, we have battles we go through. I says once the battle's over, there's always going to be another one. You know, but then I at night I pray. Every night before I go to bed, I pray. I grew up as a Christian. I haven't been in church in a while, but I started praying again. I started praying every night. You know, and praying. You know, for what I'm going through, it's nothing compared to what's going on over there around the world. I mean, I think I was talking to somebody. There's like, I got one of my friends. He's in the army? I think he's in the army, but he's getting ready. He's got to go to Sudan. He goes, yeah, I got to go to Sudan. There's so many other wars going on. I forgot. I looked it online. There's a couple hundred wars that are going on right now around the world. You know, a movie I just watched recently. I rewatched. I think it was called Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio. Man, no, oh man, the murder. I mean, just the gore and stuff is just going around the world. It's just, man, what world are we living in, dude? Mm-hmm. There's, these people got so much, these billionaires have so much money to change the world. And one person I really like, who's a, what do they call, philanthropist? Sorry about that. Mr. Beast. I don't know if you know Mr. Beast from YouTube, but he makes all his money. He turns around. He made wells over there in Africa. I forgot where we're at in Africa, but he made like 100 water wells, build homes for people. You know, he's giving back. And then when you see guys like Elon Musk, you know, what is he doing? Donald Trump, what are you doing? You know, it's just it's like I feel like ever seen that movie Idiocracy? Just like that. I feel like we're living in the world of idiocracy right now. I mean, man, it's just, I don't know. It's just these subjects are just so, like, I been off work and I go on my phone twice a day. You know, I'll go and look at my Twitter, Instagram, read the news in the morning, and then I do it at night, and that's it. I shut off the rest of the day because it's just saddening the way things are going right now.
Yeah, it's hard to pay attention to all the different things unless we see it as all connected, right? I think that when we allow this genocide to continue in Gaza, for example, we allow these atrocities to be conducted with our tax dollars. Billions of our tax dollars go to Israel's military every year. They've found U.S.-made bombs in a lot of the states where war crimes have been committed. They're bombing hospitals. I don't think there's any official hospitals remaining in Gaza. And they're finding U.S. military materials on the ground that's being funded with tax dollars. And I really want to encourage people to get out into the street. That's the way that we make change. And I think when we see a lot of things, we start to feel apathetic. We start to lose agency. We feel like we can't do anything. But really, we do have that power. These are our tax dollars. We can take action, and we should be out there in the streets making sure that this doesn't happen in other countries, because when it happens in other countries, it starts to happen here. And when we start to normalize the types of atrocities that are happening in Gaza, it starts to normalize and opens the door for things like ICE coming into our homes and taking our family members out of their homes and calling them criminals.
Yeah. What's next? You know what I mean? Because I have a podcast and I'm tuning in and I'm speaking out about it. Next thing you know, they're at my door making shit up. You know, I mean, they could easily just set you up. Oh, look he had grenades, or look at this pound of coke we found. Or, I mean, what's stopping them from doing that? You know, if they're not doing that already. And these guys, they're not even ICE guys. You know what it reminds me of? They look like bounty hunters, hired bounty hunters. Because, you know, you see all their little patches. They all have different patches on. You know, they all don't have the same uniform. They're not wearing, some's wearing jeans. Some's wearing, you know, khaki pants. Some's military. Yeah. All the Home Depots are empty. Like, I'm all for getting rid of the criminals. I'm all for getting the rapists out of here. The drug dealers, get all those guys. But, you know, there's videos of guys, dude, the lawnmower's still running on the grass, and they take the guy just because he's mowing the lawn. You know, and these people, they have working permits. It's not like they're straight illegal getting paid cash. They got working permits, you know, but they're just going after they're scaring everybody. And they were just at the over there up north in the fields, the agricultural fields, the farming fields. Did you see that one? They showed up, you know, shooting smoke grenades. All the women and children are running. I mean, dude, this is America. Dude, you would think something like this would be like in Africa, where the rebels are coming and the women or children are running through the village. That's what it reminded me of. And they're just grabbing everybody. They're not going after a particular person. They're going after everybody now.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I told my wife, I says, you know what? Okay, all you Trump supporters that are on welfare and Section 8, you know what? Now you go out to the fields and go fucking work then. You know? It's going to have an effect on the economy. You guys, people don't understand. These people come to the world to live a better place. And to them, a better place is living in a one-bedroom apartment with no working toilet, no working water, which should be, but they have 15 people in the house and they all work bare minimum wage, you know, with working permits. They don't get to collect taxes at the end, but they have working permits. And people don't understand that. They think they're just straight illegals with no papers. No, they have to have certain working permits, for them, because companies have to be legit. They have to there's no companies paying cash. You can't even deposit. I think you can't even deposit anything over $5,000 without having a legitimate excuse of why you putting this much money in if it's cash. I think it's 5, it might be 10. But it's wild. It's definitely the wild, wild west now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't even know if it's happening in other states. Is it just California?
I think California is being hit especially hard right now, unfortunately. And like you said, I mean, they're here and they're fomenting opportunities to criminalize people and to create chaos in the streets. I've been out there protesting against ICE, and I've been at demonstrations that are entirely peaceful. People are there with their families eating hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then something will happen and they'll decide they want to create chaos, and they'll bring out their batons. They'll start beating peaceful protesters or tear gassing people. I don't want to discourage people from being out there. We still need to be out there and to stand up against these awful kidnappings that are being conducted by ICE. But what we see on the media, these situations where they're saying that we're violent and we're doing these crazy things in the streets, it's actually ICE instigating.
Did you see that one camp they have in Florida? They're talking about that in the news. It's called Alligator Trash or something like that, where it's like I forgot who went to go visit. Some lady went to visit, and she was saying how bad it was. Like, she said it was like 32 people per cage, and they're just in cages. Like, what are you gonna? I mean,
Dehumanizing.
yeah. What are you gonna do with all of them?
It's completely dehumanizing. It's awful.
Yeah, it's this is some crazy times we live in. I know a lot of people are pissed off about it, because it's not just they're just going after if you weren't born here, you're out of here. Our president, or not my president, but the president, he says he wants to get rid of Rosie O'Donnell. And she was born here. She's a natural born citizen. She goes, I'm going to revoke her citizenship and send her back to Ireland or something like that. I'm like, geez, dude, this guy.
Now they're just threatening people who oppose them in general. And it's not even just Trump and people in power, which is a classic authoritarian move, but it's also corporations like United Health. The documentary that I mentioned at the beginning.
Modern Medical Mafia.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that a podcast?
Nope, it's a docuseries.
Where is it? What's the channel, or what's it on?
So that's the story, right? Is
Yeah.
they tried to and they gave it to Amazon. It was available on Amazon, and then United Health threatened to sue Amazon if they didn't take it down, saying that it was defamatory, essentially. Well, I guess facts are defamatory when you're doing terrible things and exploiting sick people for profit. So she put it on Vimeo. Also, same story. They got threatened and had to take it down, but it's now available on YouTube. So get it while it lasts.
YouTube. Before we get out of here, I know you got to go. I only have an hour with you. COVID. What do you think? What do you think? I know you probably were you working in the hospitals during COVID?
I was not, actually. I was studying, and I was in clinicals. That's as close as I got to COVID.
Man. I wanted to know, that was a really big deal. I mean, I lost my brother who was 35, UPS driver, and he didn't even make it to the hospital. He just didn't wake up one morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He had COVID, and I listening to Joe Rogan and Fauci and doing all my research, and it's still out there. Something's still out there. And like I was telling you earlier, I was sick for like a whole month, and it's just like, it felt like a mild COVID. And I was going and doing IV drips over here up the street, paying for IV drips with the proper vitamins and stuff like that. And it was helping. But I was talking to the people there. I was talking to the nurses that were working there, and they were saying, yeah, there's something going around, because didn't Trump fire a lot of people that were, that monitor stuff like this that's going around, and from what I'm hearing, like he fired a lot of those people, and so at what's going on, they're not trying. They don't want to create panic, but there is around out there uh, that it's not being dealt with properly.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously you working now. Do you guys get a lot of weird sicknesses coming in?
Yeah, I mean, we get all kinds of stuff coming in, but nothing like COVID. And I've heard the stories of bodies being stacked up
Mhm.
in semi trucks, and
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the stories of patients being treated in the hallways,
Mm-hmm. My mom
and
was.
of nurses also not having access to personal protective equipment, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. We didn't have gowns. We didn't have the N95 masks that we know protect us against COVID. And so we had a lot of healthcare workers that were also getting sick and terrified about bringing the illness home to their families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, lots of different avenues. We could talk about vaccines. We could talk about measles. There's a big measles outbreak in Texas right now. But man, it's just, yeah. I'm right now. I'm just I'm tuning out and just kind of like, man, this is like a world we living in right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going through things, and all the thing we could do is, like you said, we got to go back and we got to start hitting the streets again.
Mm-hmm.
The garbage man's on, what is it? United Republic Disposal. They're on strike, so our trash hasn't been collected. But they're on strike in Boston, and so I think there's over, I forgot how many hundreds of thousands of workers, but because one, they're in Boston, so because one group of guys, their contracts up, everybody around this United States, don't cross the picket line. So our trash hasn't been getting picked up right now. So I'm gonna start burning my trash in the middle of the street until these billionaires fucking open their pockets, dude.
Yeah, I love that labor solidarity too. Don't cross the picket line. Don't be
Yeah.
a scab.
Yeah, can't cross that picket line. So yeah, that's what's because I'm like, I think somebody was talking earlier, like, didn't they just do their contract? I go, yeah, but they're all one company. They're all, you're all union, and so they all stick together. So they don't, but they're still picking up trash. So I wonder who crossed the picket line or who they're getting to do it. Well, I don't know.
Well, when we went on strike, they were also hiring travel nurses to cross
Oh.
the picket line, and they were paying them about 3 times what we get paid to work during those 10 days when we went on strike.
Ooh, that's not good.
Nah, it's not good at all. Don't be a scab.
Yeah, you can't be a scab. Do you guys have union meetings?
Yeah, we do. And that was actually a different facility that I worked at when we decided to go on strike. And I think it's really important for us to constantly be pushing the envelope when we're organizing in our workplaces. If you're not getting pushback, you're probably not pushing hard enough. And I think that's so true when it comes to organizing for a new contract, because when you sign your contract, in a lot of cases, you're giving up the right to strike for that contract period. And that's everything. The right to strike is everything you have. That's the main tool that you have to get management back to the table, right? Because that's what they care about. They care about the money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, UPS is tough right now. They're hammering down, making up their own fucking rules. They just went out and now they're offering full-time drivers can retire. They're offering them a severance package. If you decide you want to retire now, they'll give you a severance package to retire. And from what I'm hearing, I don't have the details yet, but they're even saying if you're not even eligible to retire, we'll give you a severance package to leave. Because, top rate for us is like, I think from like 46 an hour. And then the lower guys is like $23, $24, somewhere on there. And so they're trying to clean house. And everything's getting automated now. So there's going to be less part-timers coming in. I mean, the company's doing a whole revamp. You know, we just did our contract a couple years ago, and one of the big wins we got was to put air conditions in the truck. That company was smart. They had ordered brand new trucks right before this new contract got implemented. So now we got to wait who knows how many years before we even see an air conditioned truck. It's we're living in crazy times, but times where these will be written in the history book of what's going on. But it's time for people to stand up and organize and get out there and protest. They were doing a protest over here up the street from me. My wife went to go pick up my son for football practice, and there was like a couple hundred people out there, and they're all kids. They're all kids. And then my daughter was at a friend's house, and she came home, and she was telling her mom and me, she was like, she wanted to go protest. She's only 12. She was like, I want to go. I want to make a sign. Can I go? And I was like,
Take her.
Yeah.
Go with her.
I should have. Gone.
Yeah.
But knowing ICE will probably take me. They'll never see me again. even though I was born here. You know, that's what's scary about it. You know what I mean? Like it seems like they'll go after anybody. You know, boom, and just throw you in a cage for fucking 60 days or whatever before they even get to you. You know, or mistake. Yeah, you're legal, but that seems what they're doing. You know, getting people that are born here too, and just throwing you in.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary.
It's a legitimate fear, and it's something that we need to address on an organizational level. I think you sent me the video of the surgery center healthcare workers that stood up to ICE.
Oh yeah, they was trying to get through the door.
Yeah. They're my heroes. That's what I'm going to be like. If I see ICE show up at my facility, I will not be giving them any information. I know all of our nurses are educated on what to do. We also have rights. We do not need to provide any information to ICE. And yeah, we certainly can prevent them from accessing private spaces inside of the hospital. They cannot be in patient rooms. They cannot be in break rooms. They cannot be in closed units, and we need to stick to that.
I mean, they're going in private companies too, huh? Businesses. I mean, what's stopping them from going into a facility like UPS?
The union, GAX.
Yeah, it's man. Jeez. Anyways, our time's up. We'll get to you next time, James. Sorry, dude. You got a question you want to ask?
Well, I was just gonna add up.
Hold on. We'll get you on record. All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to add on to what you just said, Gax. The reason, for what I've heard from like people in management and people who would know, the reason why they have not come inside the building is because UPS and the government. Remember during COVID, the UPS they were one of the big ones that was supplying all of the vaccines and stuff, and all that. And Trump, I forgot, he signed a bill and he gave us that's why we were so crazy. That's why I heard that they haven't really targeted UPS. However, if I was a driver, I'd be worried because I've seen Amazon drivers
Oh yeah, did an Amazon driver get pulled out of his car?
Yeah. But I just wanted to add on to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a legitimate fear, unfortunately, everywhere. I think the best way to stand up against it is through our unions. And as nurses, we're also pushing for legislation to help prevent ICE from entering hospitals. There's just no place in the hospital for enforcement.
It seems like they're not even fucking caring about they're making their own law. Like they're not giving a fuck about what. There is no law. We want to take you. We're taking you. Yeah. So what do you got going on before we get out of here? What do you got? You got anything going on? You organizing anything? Any rallies or anything? Or protest?
Yeah, always, absolutely. And one of the things that we have coming up is another countrywide call to action on July 17th. Against ICE, so you can connect with that on Instagram. You can find where your local action's at. Like I said, everyone needs to be out in the streets and up against that. And I'm really proud of how our communities have been working together and trying to stop what's happening. And then I just think in any way that you can connect with your organizations, your union or professional organization, to put out a statement against what's going on or in support of people who are affected by the ICE raids, that's always helpful as well.
If people got any questions, comments, just want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you if they got questions and stuff?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Justice Nurse.
Justice Nurse. Okay. All right. I know your time is short. I know you got a busy schedule, busy life. I want to thank you once again for coming on. I'd definitely like to get you on the show again, to update us of what's going on, because this battle isn't going to stop overnight. It's going to continue to get, I don't want to say it, but it seems like it's going to get worse before it gets better, especially with this knucklehead, that we got in charge. So, once again, thank you for coming on the show, Rachel. It was an honor to meet you. To my fans, not fans, I'm not going to offend. To my listeners from around the world, thank you for tuning in. Fans,
I'm a fan.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Be safe. Love each other. Respect each other. And, we're only on this world for 72 falls, winters, springs, and summer. Just think about it. 72. That's an average, right? We'll just do 72. 72 summers, 72 springs, 72 winters, 72 falls, dude. Life is short. Not to sit here and preach to you guys, but people's lives are getting dismantled. Children are getting murdered. Children are getting separated from the families, being handcuffed, thrown in cages. That's no way for a human to live, dude. Like, we're in the year 2025. What have we not learned anything? Obviously, the billionaires, the wealthy, life's good for them. But you keep poking the bear. I'm telling you, things are gonna change.
Yeah, we're going to wake up. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Gax. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I love you guys. Be good. Hey, keep it going. No, what's the song? That was good.
Yeah.
Boom.
What are you thinking about?
Stop it.